All right. Hey, B. Jamie, that's me here. Listen, I know I'm a little behind on love after lockup, love during lockup, whatever lockup it is. We're going to get into last week's episode and last night's episode. So let us go ahead and hop right on into it. Okay. So, first of all, we'll start with Savannah and Alyssa. Okay. So, of course, Alyssa feels ambushed by Savannah because she wasn't expecting her to tell her, like, girl, I got some boundaries in place and you just gonna have to deal, okay? So Alyssa thinks that a lot of people are against I'm sorry, not Alyssa, but Savannah thinks that a lot of people are against her and Bradley, and she wants to support them or whatever like that. No, Alyssa said that, I think. Alyssa said that she thinks a lot of people are against Savannah and Bradley, but she's the one that wants to support them. Girl, the way that you ate her up inside that furniture store, it's not giving that you're trying to support her at all. Okay. Savannah thinks that she reacts off of emotion. I'm sure she is going to. Most people react off of emotion. Like, what the hell? Like, I don't. Okay. Anywho, so Savannah says, it's important to create boundaries, and maybe she should have spoke up sooner, but she didn't think that she could at the time. So Alyssa says she don't give a fuck about nothing. She's saying whatever it was, all right, or at least maybe I said Alyssa don't give a damn. It was what it was. Now later on, Bradley gives Savannah a call, and she of course updates him on everything. And Bradley don't want to have it's they try to do with the family. Bradley learns about the stuff that Alyssa had sat up there and told her, and he up there denying it. Some say he was never planning on leaving her, and says that he's not with anybody else right now. I think that is true, but also at the same time, I wouldn't be surprised if it was something that Bradley did tell the family at another time. But the way the sister's so off the hinges and how the brother wants nothing to do with her, it's also giving it the sister is a little liar as well. So I don't know, child. Anywho, he says that in his past he was a hoe, okay, but he's a retired hoe at this point, and he ain't been doing none of that stuff that people been thinking he been doing. All right. I guess he gets upset with Miss Savannah, tells her he's not doing none of that stuff, gets upset, hangs up the phone. It is what it is. Later on, she's out to eat with her friends, and then she's talking to Bradley because she can't get over the stuff that the sister says. So she's over there like, "Oh, well, can you tap my name on your forehead or something like that so I know it's real or whatever?" And I'm like, "Who the hell for to do some shit like that?" I was with the homeboy that was like, "That's stupid." She talking about she gonna get his name tatted on her though. What a dummy. What a dummy. Okay. But I'm like, girl, that man can get his name tattooed. You can get your name tatted on this man that's on his forehead and on his zig. And it's not gonna stop anything. If he wants to do something, he gonna do it anyway, because that's just how he is, ma'am. You're not gonna be able to be in control of that. But either way, girl, good luck. Okay. Now let's talk about Tia and Rob real quick, because Rob does end up getting out. Okay, so anywho, Rob talks about how he does see a future with Miss Tia, honey, and I'm here for it. Okay, they are two cute people. I hope that things work out, but something about it tells me that Rob is not being 100% honest about that whole situation out there in Brooklyn, and I'm hoping that things go well. But girl, it's not looking too good. Just a little piece for me, so I am concerned for my girl Miss Tia, but we gonna see, all right. So anywho, she decided she got him a suite, because she know the family gonna be trying to come link up with him, so she wants everybody to be comfortable or whatnot. So he's out, and of course, the first person that he sees is her. He embraces her, and I love that for her a bit. I like the fact that she wasn't doing too much. A lot of times when we see it, we see the women like, oh, I like they don't care about the family. I'm gonna see him first before the mom and the dad does it. Like they just y'all be doing too much, okay? Y'all be doing too much, girl. You just met this man about 2 years ago. These folk been in this man like about 20 years, girl, and y'all be doing too much. Just a little piece, okay? So I do like the fact that the family kind of respected the relationship. They took a step back, let him go ahead and greet her or whatever the case was, and whatever, it was like smooth there, and maybe they felt comfortable with her because the family already knows her by way of her cousin who's married to his sister. So maybe it just was like, maybe that's why it was different. Okay. So anywho, so they make it back to the hotel or whatever the case is. First of all, did y'all check the confessional? I don't know, but for me, I feel like, yo, Rob kind of looks like he could be Tank's little brother, or like Tank's little cousin or something like that, some distant relative. Did y'all get that? Because he's a lighter, when he was outside, got out of prison. I don't know if he's gotten a tan or if it was just the setting of the room that made him look a tad bit more tan, And I'm like, oh, he kind of, you kind of give a Tank just a little piece, okay? So anywho, nice looking man, nice looking woman. Hopefully it works out for them. Hopefully he's a good guy. I do think Tia may seem like a sweet girl, but then when her insecurities and all of that start to peak, it's not a good recipe, okay? But anywho, so they make it back to the hotel, all right? They all kissing each other all up in the car and stuff. They trying to go on hunch and get it in. Okay, they don't put the dog out. They don't put some of the camera folks out. They don't lock themselves up in a room. They trying to get their hunch on. Next thing you know, the family coming beating on the door. And I would have felt the way about that too. Like, can y'all chill? And then y'all calling and it's like, what's up? What y'all doing? Like, oh, we busy right now, but we come and give us a second. I feel like they could have waited, and I would have made that wait right outside that window, just a little piece, okay? Because they did arrive a little early, all right. So, anywho, I'm sure because I would think that Tia would have timed things out appropriately to get done what they need to get done. But honestly, when Rob came into the room and he took his shirt off, I said, "Girl, okay." You look nice and all, but can you get your ass in the shower? Because you need to wash that prison up off you. But that's just my personal, you know what I'm saying? I think that she should have had him wash that prison up off him first, and y'all could have probably got it in the shower. So I don't know, but anyway, girl, that's just what the people got going on. Okay, that's just what they got going on. So they got to hunch it all down. The family came in, mixing and mingling, and everything seems to be going well so far. All right. Don't know how it's gonna go when he gets ready to travel on up there to Brooklyn. So we're gonna have to wait and see how that's gonna play out for Miss Girl, okay? Now let's get to Sam and Crystal. So Sam is realizing that Rita puts more effort into him than Crystal. And I said, well, sir, the reason she put more effort into you is because she wants you. Duh. Duh. That's why Rita puts more effort or whatever the case is. All right. He asked her about I think he talks to Rita and asks Rita about not coming. And she says, well, I can't just jump, hop, and skip for her every time. Okay, now Rita, you trying to make it seem like you wasn't feeling too well. Now you telling me something you just can't jump, hop, and skip. You don't want to look your granddaughter in her eyes knowing that you want her man. That's really what it's giving if you ask me, honey. Crystal says that she is her only blood and said that she's sad to not see her and it's been such a long time. And I'm like, girl, you gotta know that if Rita is not seeing you, it's because Rita doesn't want to see you. Okay? That's just what I would think at some point. Like, she just don't want to do. She don't want to have nothing to do with you, and that's really all on Rita. What else? So of course they out to eat. Crystal calls and tells her how much she misses her or whatever. And Sam sits with. At some point, Sam does go sit with an attorney. First of all, when Crystal calls to tell her how much she misses her, Rita didn't seem to be too moved until she went into the spiel about how you've always been there for me. You know, you made sure that happened to me when something happened to my mama and all this and that. And I'm like, girl, Rita don't care nothing about you, honey. She don't. Not at this point. And I feel like Rita probably got a right to feel that way. Rita about been trying to tell you to get your SHI together and you still was out there showing your ass and it landed you in prison once you cut your husband or whatever. So Rita know how dangerous you could be. Rita sick of you, but Rita do want that man though. Sam goes and sits with an attorney on behalf of Crystal because y'all know she's up for parole or whatever. And he's hoping she could get out, but they're not sure if that's gonna really happen for her. Due to the situation, because he explained how she told him the husband had like a little slight cut on the head, but the way the attorney was talking like the girl stabbed the man. So I don't know, but whatever it was, it landed her in prison for a few years. Okay, if she does not get out for parole at this time, then she could be in there for another 7 more years. And Sam doesn't know if he could do another 7. He doesn't want to. And Sam, I don't think that you should. If you do, you need to cheat because I don't think that you need to. Well, really, you don't need to cheat. You just need to open up the marriage high key because she gonna do what she want to do anyway. Because that's just how she is while she's over there locked down in prison. So you might as well just do your thizzle too. You know what I'm saying? That's just what I would think. But do your thing while she out there doing hers. But anywho, Sam hasn't been in touch with Crystal and now he's confused. Okay, after he's trying to talk to an attorney and figure this stuff out for her, he feels like what the hell, what's going on? Like, I done sat with an attorney. It's about time she's up for parole. I'm trying to figure out what's the next steps, what's going on. I ain't talked to her. And come to find out, she really mad because he didn't drive 6 hours to go see her ass for 2 hours and then turn around and drive another 6 hours. That man says she always want the money, and in order for her to get the money, then I gotta work. You know what I'm saying? I said, I know that's right. And see, Sam, at some point, you're going to end up putting your foot down with this woman. And also, at some point, Sam, you just going to let her go. Okay? At some point, you're going to end up moving the hell on. Okay? So he says when she is let down, it's the end of the world for her. And he says that I feel like that's another reason why the grandma don't want to have shit to do with her. Okay, because she centers everything about her. She centers everything around her and about how she feels. And I think the grandma just be tired of that. And I also feel like the grandma feels relieved that she finally has somebody like him that will take on Miss Girl. So I don't have to do so much or deal with her ass too much. Like, that's you now, fam. You got it. Just a little piece, okay? Um, so anywho, he thinks that she could be messing with a woman while she's in prison. You know your wife, and whatever you think you right. In my personal, whatever you think you right, you know your wife, because I guess she had a situation with a woman at one point or whatever the case was, and he thinks that could be happening now. Um, so yeah, so he drives over to Rita's house. I was like, why does he always have to drive to Rita's house to tell her something when he could just call her ass on the phone? Like, you went all the way over to the Rita house to ask her if she's talked to your wife when you really could have just talked to Rita on the phone to find out if she talked to your wife. And the same information Rita gave you about your wife, saying Brittany's back and stuff, like, you could have heard that over the phone. But of course, for filming purposes, you had to drive all the way down there to her damn house. Like, Sam, you're really doing a whole lot for me. You're doing like a little too much, in my opinion. But that is your wife now, and this is what you wanted, so this is what you're gonna get. Good luck. All right, let's move on to Jakima and Donnie, because of course Donnie over there in lockdown somewhere, and he didn't give her all the details, but now she's learning that she's learning by way of some paperwork that it has something to do with drugs. Okay, I guess they were saying somebody bought drugs from Donnie, or Donnie bought drugs from somebody else, or whatever the case is, and had the uncle take some money and send it over to her cash app and all this and that. So it's a lot of drama going on, and her name is tied to it. And she's like, I'm not trying to have SHI to do with this. If you getting a drug charge or you got something connected to you, I'm not trying to be an accomplice in any type of way for receiving drug money or none of that. Like, keep me out of that BS that you got going on. I don't want to have nothing to do with that. Okay. But that's the risk that you take when you start messing with these damn prisoners, girl. So she's upset about her name being in the paperwork. So she's calling around, calling to the facility to find out. They could tell her limited information, like, yeah, he's being moved, but we can't tell you nothing else. Okay. Eventually, she does talk to him, though. He lets her know that he was moved to a facility that's, or whatever, prison about 3 hours away from her. And he's trying to tell her that whatever she may have learned from the paperwork about the drug situation, he's trying to make it seem like he didn't do anything, but then also saying that, he doesn't want her to know everything right now. Like, he's just not to be trusted. And she's even thinking to herself, like, oh, well, maybe he could have been falsely accused. Whatever you tell yourself to make yourself feel better. But when she left outside that dance studio and she was over there, about to leave, and she said, I don't even want to be here no more. I want to go back to Dallas. And I'm like, yes, go back to Dallas where your support system is. But we know she's not going to do that. We know she's not going to do that. And for her to not want to have anything to do with the drug money, she going to continue to take the money because she about ain't going to want to work. She going to continue, because he's talking about he got properties and stuff. I don't know. But she going to continue to take that money because she tied to this lease. And we just gonna see how it play out. But I don't see her leaving anytime soon. And I also don't see him getting out anytime soon. So I feel like their storyline is gonna be that he's still gonna be locked up. Once this season is over, he's still gonna be behind bars. And I kind of don't care to see those individuals. If they are going to be behind bars and a person isn't getting out that season, and you're not gonna guarantee us that they'll be on the next season, get these people up out of here. Stop. We should only be seeing people who's about to actually get out of prison in the next few months. Before the season is out, we should be seeing them. Like, let us get to a conclusion with these people exiting prison. And I don't feel like that happens with the other folks. But anywho, girl, good luck to her. Let's get to MJ and Willie. I'm going to tell y'all out the gate. I'm going to cover some of what MJ was talking about, but I really do not care for her storyline. I really don't. Like, in all caps, I made a note. I'm like, yo, I'm just not really interested in her storyline right now, high key. After I took a few notes about her situation. So this is what I got. Because this ain't going to be no long review for real, with me trying to cover last week's and this week. Skipping real short. So she's headed to see her mom because her mom has cancer, from my understanding. She gets out there to see the mama. The mama already clocking her tea about her being, I guess, engaged to be married or whatever the case is. Something about her having another man, okay? And what is she going to do about Ami? right? She says that her mama wants her to be with Ami over the dude that's in prison. And I'm like, of course your mama will want that if that's the case, because Ami probably looks after and takes care of your mama, whereas the other dude locked down and he ain't helping her out financially, physically, none of that. So of course she gonna choose Ami, and she about know Ami better. Now, granted, I believe she said that she is familiar with this guy by way of somebody else, I guess him being friends with somebody that was in the family or some shit. So the mama may be familiar with the guy, but I think she knows Ami more. But I don't even trust that to be true, because I feel like MJ is a liar. So when she says her mama wants her to be with Ami more, I feel like, no, you about want to be with Ami more. Okay, because when we listen to your mama is pretty much telling you to pick like decide, like, why are you doing one thing saying another, or whatever the case is when it comes to these two men. I felt like her mama was over there clocking her teeth, telling her, listen, you could just be honest. I said, I know that's right, ma'am, because you know your daughter is a liar. So Ami's over there calling the woman phone, asking her like, you miss me or whatever, and she was like, what you want, like, what's up, Ami, or whatever. And it's like, you over there acting like this man is really bothering you, when number one, you didn't have to answer the phone, and number two, the only reason he know you out there was because your ass reached out to him. Then you want to get down on the side of the bed and be crying and shit, and did something you feel like you hide behind both of the men, because all you ever wanted to do was be loved and this and that. And I want to be with what she said, 1 minute she don't know who she want to be with. I don't know if it's Ami or if it's Willie. I need to talk to Ami to see what I'm going to do. And then it's, oh, I want to be with Willie and I'll follow him wherever he may go. That's what it's giving. Like, I can't. I'm gonna run up behind Willie until Willie decides to choose me, and da 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 da. So it's like, man, yo, I can't. Like, I don't know. I might fast forward her scenes. Okay, maybe it'll be more interesting once Willie gets out of prison or something. But I'm not really like, I'm not featuring MJ right now. Anywho, Kate, Hunter, and Kaylee. So Kaylee thinks I'm not Kaylee, but Kate thinks that Hunter is done with the ladies that he's been out here pursuing on these apps or whatever, right? He goes on to tell her about the story of one of the ladies he ended it with decided to reach out to a neighboring prisoner, okay, somebody down the hall or whatever, asking him like, yo, are you familiar with this guy? Oh, okay, well, he's a fraud. He did this, he did that, and I want somebody to do something to him. And if you do something to him, then I'll put some money on your books, okay? Like, ma'am, you are sending a threat through the prison. Do you know that is likely, I'm sure that's illegal. I don't think you could do that outside the prison, and you over there sending it to a person that's in prison, like, you ain't gonna get caught up. So that is something that I would think needs to be reported to an official. But I also was like, is this even a real story? I don't know, because Hunter is one that can't be trusted. And I say every time that man call that girl, he always got some bad news to give her every time he calls her. But he goes on to talk to the people in the confessional or whatever he does, and it sounds like he not lying. It sounds like this may be a true situation that has happened, okay? So I guess, anywho, both of the ladies are now trying to talk to an attorney on his behalf. Okay. I think Kaylee's trying to talk to an attorney on behalf of him, kind of like getting additional jail time or something like that, because of the situation with her exposing herself to him or whatever. So she's seeing an attorney for that, and it seems like the other woman is seeing an attorney to make sure, I guess, he doesn't get out, that he gets out on time or whatever. And I think it has something to do with the whole situation of the girl threatening him in prison or whatever the case was. And so Kate's attorney is telling her, like, listen, at the end of the day, based on some of this information you're telling me about how he was carrying on in the prisons, taking advantage of people, like, that's not going to be a good look when it's time for him to potentially get out. Because the defense can have a very compelling argument against him getting out. All right. Because of those matters at hand. And he said, and you also don't want your name to be brought up to where it's like you the one that influenced him to do some SHI like that. So that's going to look bad, especially if he's supposed to be getting released and paroled to you. So she was like, well, I don't feel like, I didn't look at it like it was a scam. You also didn't look at it like it was a damn fantasy either. And you still see your ass up there getting played, okay? But she wasn't lying when she said at the end of the day, I led him to the water. I couldn't make his ass drink it. He drunk it and did what the hell he wanted to do with it. So whatever else he did after I led him there, that is on him, okay? And that's funny because they still will clock your tea a little bit. Okay, so the man is just telling her, you just want to be real careful with how you go about handling this particular situation. Okay, So there's that. Meanwhile, Kaylee is hearing from that attorney, like, in order to handle this case and try to get him out and all of that or whatever, girl, it's gonna run you about 15 racks. And Kaylee's like, damn, 15 racks. Like, girl, I already spent 5,000 to 6,000 on him. And the attorney's like, yeah, that's a lot of money. And I'm like, bitch, you knew it was a lot of money when you set up that house for 15K. Okay, that's even more of a lot of money. Okay, but anywho, the lady said, pay me for my pain, pay me for my time. 15 racks, ma'am. So anywho, she tells her that, and the girl, Kaylee, is like, well, I feel like he's worth it, and I feel like, as his girl, like, that's my duty to take care of him in that way. I've always been looking out for him, so I feel like that's something I'm supposed to do. That's my soulmate or whatever. And the lady's like, listen, girl, I hear all that shit you talking about, but I need you to understand that I would hate for you to go through all of this, do all of that for him, and then on the flip side, what you come out with in the end is you getting your ass played. Okay, so I need you to think about this logically with your mind and not with your damn heart. Okay, get that stuff together. But that's pretty much everything that took place for me on the episode of the 2 episodes of Love After Lockup. Okay, hopefully we'll be more on time with the next one. But that's all that I got for y'all at this time. I'm Jami, that's me, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye bye.
Tell him I preach to the choir. Stand with my feet to the floor. Stand in the midst of these haters, I'm silent, nobody can stop me. Just gotta check in my notification, them numbers hit like it's a praxis. Cashed out at the ATM, and the ATL, they done made a gym. I've been kicking doors like the ATF, got them trying to clone